Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Ranty, and Mark. How are you all doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
Is Ranty not part of that anymore?
I did not say Ranty. I'm sure it did. It was beep beep over the top, that's all.
No, we never beeped over the top. You forgot. Admit it.
Maybe. I'll blame the beep beep.
Bald face liar.
So I've got to do a shout out to stopping traffic in his Rasta hat. Alki. Yeah, apparently he likes it when I do that, and I actually quite like it. I enjoy doing it. So shout outs to Alki.
Maybe you should get married.
Well, sorry, Nathan. Should I stop? Should I stop moving forward? I see you keep moving my volumes up and down.
Yeah, you're obviously quite enthusiastic. Try to ignore me.
When he gets excited, he gets nearer to the mic.
Yeah, I do. Start eating it. It's like,
So, any signs of curvature? Any of you lot?
Slice Barkane did have a claim for curvature. He challenged me to a hangout, right? This is bizarre. He challenged me to a hangout, and I took it up. He kicked me whilst on topic and not being rude. And then for some reason, wants me to go back in and have another hangout with him on the topic on the point that we were discussing at the time when he kicked me out. Yet doesn't want to concede that there was a valid argument there. Doesn't want to concede that he might actually be wrong and wrong about kicking me. And somehow thinks that I'm going to go crawling back to him. So I told him in the comments that I wouldn't be having a hangout with him. But rather than leave him hanging there, because he said to me, well, I'll be setting up anyway, Riley. So I thought, well, rather than leave him hanging, I'll just go in there, tell all his subs that there won't be a hangout because Sly's not made any concessions, and left. And it left him there sat on his own. So I didn't leave him hanging. He knew full well. But Sly, if you want to do the hangout, let's do it. But we ain't doing it with home advantage. You had that first time round and you messed up. So let me know. If not, no worries. You still ran. Otherwise, I'm sat here waiting, Sly. Other than that, no evidence of curvature.
Axial rotation.
No.
Equatorial telescopes.
Equatorial telescopes?
Yeah.
Okay, you mean the mount on a telescope pointing towards the Earth as the stars go overhead?
Did you hear the non sequitur show? Was it yesterday? Was it, or was I going a few? It was with Jaren and Red Retrix.
Oh yeah, I've spoke to Jaren about that. I asked him why was that performance so under par. Right, listen to this. Right, Jaren has got more knowledge on this topic that I'll ever know. He's forgotten stuff I'll never know. But he always seems to do really, quote, bad in debates. But when I asked him why did he not put up a good fight last night, his answer was they wanted me to argue for a flat plane, a flat model that I don't have. And he said, I'm not prepared to argue for a model that we don't have, and I don't really know what to do about. He said, so what I had to do was attack their model continuously and not present anything of my own. He said, so basically what they wanted me to do was present a flat model, whatever that might be. And he said, I can't do that. He said, because I don't know what it is. And I totally and utterly agree with him. So what he actually did instead was just basically troll them by not doing what they wanted him to do. And basically by criticizing as many times as he possibly could the lack of evidence and all that. And when you understand that his position was to attack them indirectly by claiming they've got no evidence for their assertions, that's the best he can do. None of us know what we live on. It's not a ball. It might not be flat. We could live on a crater on the moon, as far as all we can tell. It could be big, spherical, and massive, but we live in a crater that creates the dish that we all call the ice wall. Who knows? What we don't know what we live on. Probably the answers are out there for us to. They probably do know, but they won't tell us. But the answer is we can't argue in favour of flat because we just don't know. We don't have any money to work it out, and ultimately we just don't know. And that was his approach last night. So if you think that Jaren put up a bad performance, myself included, it's because he was trolling them. He didn't want to argue a flat model because he felt that that's what they were trying to trap him into, and I agree with that. And what he meant to do, put up the best you can by attacking them, and that's what he did. And when you understand that, it all makes perfect sense. So shout out and kudos to Jaren. Knowing that makes a lot more sense.
Research Aristarchus.
Hi, DMP. So, just to bring it back onto axial rotation then, so Mark mentioned the equatorial mount for a telescope.
It's nothing I've ever investigated, so I can't really say what I'm talking about. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I felt that Jaren shouldn't have been there. I think he leaves himself wide open because he's just too logical and too much of a gentleman.
Yeah, he's too polite.
He's too much of a gentleman. He shouldn't be going in there. He just gives them so much ammunition.
Well, it depends on how you view it. It only gives them ammunition if they think it's ammunition that they're getting. In reality, it's not actually ammunition if you realise that it's strawman or red herring arguments that they're bringing up. Because fundamentally, they can't prove axial rotation, curve, or gravity, right? But they always push it past that quickly, and they get to things like, well, the rockets, or this, or that, or the other, or whatever example they want to give, but they never, ever deal with curvature, axial rotation, or gravity. They always go off further down the rabbit hole without getting to the entrance of the rabbit hole first. So it depends on how you want to interpret it, but for me, I think Jaren did well, given that they wanted him to commit himself to a model that he basically admits and knows that there isn't. And because at the end of the day, right, I'm not persuaded it's flat. I think it could be multi-dimensional. It could be fourth or fifth dimensional, and we need to have more knowledge than it's just flat. It could be flat, but it doesn't mean it is. But it's definitely not a sphere of 24,970 miles in circumference, because none of us are getting evidence to support it. We're all getting evidence that's contradicting it. So you can't submit to a particular model if you're going on to a debate that's supposed to be the format. And he did that admirably when you realise that he wasn't going to commit to any model and he was just going to attack theirs. And he actually did that really well. Just he didn't really present. Was it the right format to do it in a debate? It's a fair point.
They can't cope with the fact that we don't have a model.
No. They need us to have a model so they can attack it, because at the end of the day, flat doesn't work unless you know the facts. And we don't know enough of the facts because all we've got really is a P900 and a compass.
What have you guys looked at Red Flat Earth Crush and his new model that he proposed from scratch? Have you seen that yet?
Say that again. You weren't loud enough.
Flat Earth Crush. Flat Earth Crush has a video where he proposes a model that he's constructed from scratch. I haven't finished watching it, but he's he pretty much says that he's going to address the issues of all of the problems with the azimuthal and whatnot. But I don't know if you guys had seen it yet, so that's why I was asking.
No, I've not seen it. All I can tell is that you can't have a vacuum of space against a pressurized environment. You can't have a spinning ball that doesn't spin and doesn't present itself as a ball. And you can't have this attractive force of gravity that, by its own definition, whichever two that you take, you can't prove one way or the other. So it's like, well, what is it we live on? Is that not deliberately obfuscation to try and confuse the matter? And it's obvious that it is. I mean, there's people in chat there now, new names that I've not seen before, and I can tell that they're new to it. But ultimately, everybody's got their own little journey, and you work out what proof works for you the best. And for me, it's gyroscopes. They're a double-edged sword. No axial rotation, no curvature. What more do you need? Nothing. There's no explanation for why it doesn't do it. It just doesn't do it. Friction of the bearings, we can demonstrate that that's false. Once you get past that, what else is there? Well, do we have to work out what shape it is? No. Just need to know that it's not what they're telling us it is.
Indeed. Should we carry on with housekeeping?
Pardon?
Housekeeping.
Yeah, go on.
Any signs of R?
No. Signs of R? No, nobody's got any evidence of R. Come on, Nathan, you should know that by now.
Oh, you've got to ask, haven't you? Someone might have come along with some absolutely astonishing scientific evidence for the radius of the presupposition that Earth is a sphere. You just don't know.
K-Hole says false Riley. Well, why don't you go on the panel and show us how it's false? Friction of the bearings is demonstrably wrong. We can demonstrate 15 degrees in an hour with a gyroscope, a normal gyroscope. So if you think that's wrong, K-Hole, join us, present your evidence, and let's see how it stands up to scrutiny by your peers. We'll call it peer review.
I'll just round out housekeeping because otherwise it'll go on forever. So, any signs of a molten iron core that self-perpetuates magnetism?
Do you know Paul Voigt doubled down on that last night? Where did I see him? He was in your channel like yesterday whilst Thrive and Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole were on. And he doubled down on that. He reckons he has got the evidence. And I was like, right,
excellent.
Paul, come on and present it then. Obviously,
Excellent.
yesterday, now, like at the time yesterday, was probably bad timing. But just for the record, Paul Voigt has doubled down on the claim for a self-perpetuating molten iron core from yesterday's chat. So let's hear that one, Paul Voigt, because we know that you lurk. Let's hear the evidence for it. Let's see what you've got, because you must have something by now. It's only took you about 6 months.
Cool. Well, I'll just round the housekeeping out there then. I think Paul Voigt, if you'd like to join, feel free to tell us all about the self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed sphere Earth with no proof of its radius.
Yeah, he was claiming that basically inductive magnetism was the way, and I was like, yeah. So what's the source? And then it was like tumbleweed. So, Paul, if you've got this inductive magnetism reasoning, bring it on. Let's have a look. Let's see what you've got, because I'd love to know where the inductive source is, because on your model, there isn't one.
Quite a few comments about Jaren's proposed catgut cord, whatever you want to call it, test, 3-mile test.
Yeah, you better catch Ranty up with keeping up to speed, because Ranty doesn't get it.
What's to get? I don't know any of the details of the manufacturer of the piece of twine. So
no, I think Ranty's under the impression that they'll pull it taut and lift it out of the water, but that's not what they're going to do.
What? Sorry, I just heard my name mentioned, and
Ranty doesn't understand the catgut or the string experiment that Jaren's proposing over 3 miles.
You sure about that? Have you asked him if he understands it, or are you just asserting that he doesn't understand it like you hate?
No, he's put it on. I think it was on your show comments from yesterday, and I said that's not what they're doing, Ranty. You need to look it up.
What are they going to do? As far as I know, they've got a 3-mile length of string or something that they're going to pull tight. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's not being done above the water. It's being done in the water or on the water, because it's buoyant. The string's buoyant, so it'll sit on top of the water. That removes the sag out of it. So if they're going to pull it taut from 3 miles, it should drop by 1.5 feet in the middle, thus proving that water would curve over 3 miles, consistent with the calculation for the geometric size of the globe that we're supposed to live on.
Right. Well, I'll just nail my colours to the mast here and say that I don't think it's possible for them to do that.
You don't think it's possible? What?
I don't think it's physically possible that they can do that. I mean, 3 miles is an incredibly long way to try and do something like. I mean, the results are going to be so difficult to gather.
No, he's going to do it in the canal, in that canal that he did his last observation in.
Yeah, again, I'm just saying I don't think it's physically possible for it to be done conclusively without any kind of errors or anything like that. I think it's harebrained idea.
Can you name one error that might be a factor?
There's so many variables that can happen. I mean, how are you going to measure this thing? How is it going to even work? How, what are you going to get that can hold a 3-mile piece of string from left to right and over a water and suspend it at a certain height? I don't think it's possible.
You're not listening.
I am. I just don't think it's possible.
No, you're not listening. Listen, the string sits on top of the water because it's buoyant, so the water takes the weight of the string.
Yeah, but that's only the beginning, okay? Right, Anthony? So the string is resting on top of the water, but then Ranty's point is the tension, because that's the next step. The test isn't simply to have string resting on top of water. because it could just follow the curve and you'd never know anything. So when you bring the tension into the twine, that tension is going to make a straight line, which will then pierce through or cut through the bulge for 1.5 feet.
Yeah, I did
so
say
you've
that.
got no. I know that you said that. I'm trying to say it in a way maybe that would be different for Ranty to hear. So if they've got two, I'm just going to say this. Let's say they've got 2 trolling boats, right? That are just basic fishing boats for 2 or 3 people to fit in, and all they do is leave the twine on the surface, and the twine is then tied to the boat at the surface level, so that even though they're taut, it's still at the surface level. So then you've got someone in the middle of the 3 miles where the bulge is going to be, and the observation is going to say the string is on top of the water, it's flush, or it's cut through the bulge.
Sure.
Right. That's what it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, and I think it's his best planned observation test.
Measurement.
Yeah, measurement. That'll do. Gotta be very careful with the word. So anyway, so it's going to cost. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but 3 miles of this twine is going to be quite expensive to get it in one big long piece. You're going to need some kind of truck to move it as well. That's going to weigh a ton.
Couldn't we just get people to donate shoelaces and we would just tie them together?
I don't think shoelaces will float, will they, once they get...
I'm just kidding.
It'd work, though. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't work. So, I can see that there's Zell BDT in chat, who's basically challenging me that you basically say that your model is crap. You don't know what you're on about, and that you will not attempt to defend it. No, I say that there is no model. I do know what I'm on about enough to be able to put my name on the line, and I don't see you in here. And I won't attempt to defend something that I don't even know what is the claim in the first place. Why would anybody do that? Jaren's approach last night was bob on. So, Ranty, do you have access to any of your 1 foot observations of Barrow?
Yeah, why?
Do you want to present them?
I've got to nip out in a minute. I'll send all the images. I'll put them up onto my Google Drive, and I'll send you a link in the side chat.
Okay.
How's that?
I don't think people realise the importance of the lack of curve, bulge. When you're sat 1 foot above the water, the horizon's less than a mile away, but you can see 20. How is that possible?
It's not. And I think they're fully aware that of the importance of it. They just choose to ignore it.
But people like Zell BDT in chat just ignore that evidence, Ranty. Don't understand why anybody would ignore that evidence that's observable, repeatable, verifiable. I don't see the problem there, Zell. Why would you dismiss that evidence of a foot off the water, seeing 20 miles away, seeing down to the beach, seeing land that we should not be seeing?
Because they're zealots. They don't want to let go of the ball for whatever reason. I suppose it's more comfortable for them to sit in a bubble rather than acknowledge that we don't live in a bubble. We live in the real world, and this is the real world.
Spurs, are you coming in? See you lurking in chat. Want to know what happened with Lewis and the map that you were showing it, or the horizon that you were talking about yesterday? ZBTD claims his model works. We can use it. We can predict against it. You can't. Well, you don't predict against your model, and your model doesn't work. You actually don't have a model, because every time we tried using Google Earth as your model, we get told that that's not your model. We've tried to use globes as models, but they're only for educational purposes. You don't have a model, and the model that you think you have doesn't work. So I don't know why you would say things like that when you know it's not true. So,
right, I'm just going to upload into my Google Drive now. I'll send you the link, and then I'll say goodbye now, actually, because I've got to go do things. So I'll send you the link in about 2 or 3 minutes.
okay.
All right.
Thanks, Shanti.
So Nathan, you need to stimulate a little bit of conversation here. Let's poke some bears and let's see if we can get some stupid ballers in.
Fair enough. Gem Panda's in the chat at the moment. There's a video out that was from presumably Flat Earth Debate, the channel, which is now dissolved, where he was admitting that gravity is just a presupposition.
Gem Panda's put that video out.
No, Ute put the video out. It's from maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Ute, can we have permission to play it? Would you mind if we played it so we
Not
can
his
all
video
hear
to begin
Jeremy
with.
admitting that gravity is a... Did you say
can't give that.
presupposition?
You can't give that. It's not his video to begin with.
Oh.
There we go. Check out Ute's channel. I don't know if he's in the chat now. Click on his icon and then go to channel. YUTE.
Let's have a look. So he's got Jeremy admitting that gravity is a presupposition.
Yep. He's denying it. He says, BS, I've never said any such thing. Well, go and check it out. It's on YouTube. Ute's channel.
I'm doing that right now. Channel for Ute. Where are you? There you go. For some reason, I'm unsubscribed. Videos.
Doesn't look
Gem
like he's
Panda
in...
schooled by user Richard Dawkins about whatever it's the rest of it is. Ah, it's 18 minutes.
Yeah, well, you may not get a chance to watch it right away, but...
Like that, and I'll just leave it playing in the background so he gets the thingies for it. Anyway, we need a bit of evidence. Anybody got any evidence for these claims that you guys believe and push on other people like it's some kind of, I don't know, hardcore left wing, right wing, upside down, crazy ass religion? There doesn't seem to be a lot of evidence, and there don't seem to be people joining anymore.
That's right, that's because the Earth is obviously inobservably flat, and none of these people in the chat who claim it isn't have got actually anything to present. Otherwise, they'd be on presenting it. The most devastating thing so far has been those wind turbines. And so far, literally, nobody's got anything.
I'm just removing some wasting time comments on my video. Shout out to UFO. Remove.
What are you doing? Removing comments?
Yeah. If it's off,
right.
if it's off topic and it's just trying to attack me personally about whatever, I just don't see any value to it. Stay on topic, present some proof. Let's see what you can show for the shape of the Earth, because we all know that there is none, but everybody seems to believe that there is some, even though there's not there. I was saying on the Iron Realm Media last night that when I was talking to that GCSE A-level science teacher, it didn't flicker an eyelid when we showed that gyroscopes, stick them on a 15 degrees an hour mechanism, they show the 15 degrees an hour, but they're also supposed to show the curvature of the rotation of the Earth. And I'm like, that evidence is missing. When you show that the gyroscope will record 15 degrees an hour, it should also be recording the rotation of the Earth, minus a small adjustment for your exact location on the Earth, but it still should show a figure in excess and towards the 30 degrees mark once you get the axis spinning at the 15 degrees an hour, and it doesn't do it. And the light didn't go on. I was like, come on, this is an important piece of missing evidence. You need to be questioning this. You're a physics teacher. You've got to be able to realize that gyroscopes are an issue. And the light didn't get switched on. The light was just sat in its off. There was just that blank stare, and I was like, no way. Surprising. Anyway.
I don't mind a nice calm Saturday. I've got no issue. I'm quite happy.
Lovely. It's lovely today. Did it rain for you last night? Heavy?
I have no idea.
Bounced it down where I am. Bounced it down and then woke up this morning. It was drying and now it's warm again.
It hasn't rained for days actually, so no.
So we've got no Ranty because he stepped out. Do we have Plain Truth? Is he still here?
Model to pseudoscience, IFTH.
Yeah, I'm here.
They don't actually prove anything.
Pardon?
Just IFTH in the comments says, so Nathan Oakley and Sleeping Warrior, where is your model?
What model? We haven't
Don't
got
live on
$50
a
million
model.
a day.
Don't live
The
on a
most we've
model.
got is a P900 and a compass. What can be expected to? What can you expect of us when the most we've got is a P900 and a compass and the odd bloke that can do a CAD design? I mean, come on.
Where's their model?
What,
Hold on. What's the Earth model currently? What do they claim is their model?
yeah, so IFTH, what is your current working model? Because as far as we can tell, it's not Google Earth. They're not maps. So what is your current working model?
Yep, let us know what your current globe model is. Tell us the site, we'll go and bring it up. Obviously, you don't want to come onto the panel to tell us what your model is. Great if you did.
So pear shape.
As far as I'm concerned, you don't have a working model. You have a standard model that's broken.
Sat here begging for attention at Sleeping Warrior, and then he says, and you are getting none anymore because Nathan is exposed. Oh, right, so I'm getting no attention because Nathan's exposed. Interesting perception of reality, that. That'd go down as delusional in my book.
This is triggered chat participants. Happy days.
The link's public there, Nathan, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this constant criticism of a circle jerk that you get, even though the link's public, you know, nobody takes it up. Nobody got any evidence to support the assertion that we live on a rotating testicle? Or do you all just believe it because it's like a religion to you?
Time is it there, Plain Truth?
It is 9:30.
Okay, not so bad.
I think what I'll do, Nath, if you present my screen.
Yes.
Given that I think Ranty's disappeared without leaving the link, and the only two pictures that I have, let's make that a little bit bigger. Because what I don't want to do is lose that. Open that with Paint. All right, let me know when we're on.
Yeah, you're on.
Right, so I think these turbines are about 10 or 12 miles away. The ones in the background are about 20 miles away. This is just a frame out of one of Ranty's many videos. It's not a particular frame, it's just a frame because it was probably one of his better ones where the horizon's flat and it's in focus. Because I know what people are like with smudges and things like that, Alan. And basically, the issue we have is if we live on a sphere, when we draw the line through the top of the turbines, let's just say that the line's curvy for the sake of this point that I'm going to make, even though it's clearly straight. Oops. I know Nathan will be cringing right now, but I need to make it a little bit longer. And all I'm doing is just trying to line it up so that it goes straight through the middle of the turbines, right? Apparently this straight line is curvy. Problem is, oops. Oh, balls. Did we do that?
Hey, Jose.
Morning. Sorry for interrupting. Continue, guys.
Oh, there.
Yes, where are these globe believers, to come and join the show and give us a little bit of, entertainment? But yeah, no. Actually, I don't want entertainment. I want the globe to be represented to me again. I want to get out of this flat earth thing. I don't want to waste a few hours of my day every day just looking for something that should be there easy to find. Come on, guys. Come on, take me out of this rabbit hole. Just presenting the proof.
So basically, if we live on a sphere, these two lines that are straight, that are supposed to be bendy, cannot be parallel. Because this is like 10 miles away, but this one's like 20 miles away. And you can't have straight lines, even if these are meant to be bendy. You can't have straight lines if one of them is further around the ball. Can't have it. So this in itself proves that there is no curve. This is just simply perspective. But if it was curve, when you have the line at the top and you move it down to what they tell us is the curve, we should see the same thing at the bottom, because if it was curve at the top, it should be curve at the bottom. But they tell us that what we see at the bottom is the curve. Well, if it was the curve, why does it not match the top? Because we know that the top's on a straight line, which we're going to let you say is curvy for the minute, but it should be the same, and it doesn't do it. So the question is, well, why is that? And it's obviously some kind of effect, optical or otherwise. You can't have straight lines on a ball. Can't have no change in the rake angle at all, because obviously the ones that are further away should be more like that, but we're not seeing it. So what gives? It's probably the strongest flat earth proof out there. Perspective is all we see. They've a hijacked perspective. They tell us it's curve, and you guys all believe it. What was that message then about dome? I'm looking for proof of dome. Pressurized, state of pressurized environment against a non-pressurized vacuum of space. That tells you that there must be a membrane.
Ring laser gyroscopes can detect the movement of Earth. Is that true? What is a ring laser gyroscope? Come on.
A ring laser gyroscope does detect movement of 15 degrees, but because they're influenced by magnets, the question becomes, what's it detecting? If the Earth is not spinning the way we assert it is, but there is an electromagnetic thing over the top of us, and we see evidence of that with the northern lights. What's spinning? Oh, here we go. Here's a nice dumb tard. Good morning, Joshua. What evidence have you got? Have you worked out how far that how big that wall is?
10 foot, Riley. Definitely 10 foot.
Are you sure?
From everywhere you stand, it's always going to be 10 foot.
Yeah, it's not though, is it really? Only if you deny perspective, right?
Look, I really don't know where you're going with this, because I'm pretty sure that you know that a 10-foot wall is 10 foot. If you went to the lumber store and you bought a 10-foot bit of lumber and then you built a wall out of it, you would know in your head that no matter where you were on planet Earth, that bit of lumber was always going to be 10 foot.
It's only 10 foot if you deny perspective, right?
How do they measure the lumber?
Let's not even talk about perspective. You've gone to work. I'm happy to. You've flown to another country. That's still 10-foot bit of lumber.
I'm happy to let people know that you don't want to talk about perspective to make your point. It's kind of my point.
Okay, I don't really know what actual point that is. I'm just saying, I didn't really come on to pick a fight, but okay, let's go there.
Oh right, okay. So did you bring evidence with you for any of your presupposed assertions?
No, I'm really just bored, and I wanted to kind of commend you guys on your show yesterday. I think it was with Rich, Thrive and Survive.
Okay.
That was a corker. That was just a bunch of you guys just rambling nonsense. That was such a corker episode. Thank you. The world thanks you.
So what was so good about the episode for you?
It was because none of you flat earthers can actually agree on anything. So within your own community, you can't agree on any of your positions, which makes the whole position just a pile of mush.
But you understand that Rich came on specifically for a critique, right? He wasn't coming on to tell us that something's true. He was coming on to question it so that he could be guided in what to think and how to present his arguments if he's got them wrong. You understand what critical thinking is, right?
Yeah, but Rich didn't even know what he was talking about. He fell over himself every sentence.
Maybe
he's the sort of man that gets longitude and latitude just completely mixed up all the time.
So do I.
If I may, how about this one, Riley? So if you think about someone being tall, they're long, right? Goes up and down. And if you just swap out latitude for, say, fatitude, that's how fat it is around, right? Does that help?
Sure. Haven't you got it the wrong way around?
Tell me again.
Haven't you got it the wrong way around?
Do you think? Okay, so maybe I have. What do you think the lines of latitude and longitude are? How do you think they work? How do you remember it?
I'm just checking. Longitude is to up and down. Latitude is left to right.
Okay, so check it.
Is that the way you just said it?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you throw a lateral pass, you're throwing it across the plane. So lateral is across, longitude is up and down.
I think my one was so much better. If it's longitude, it's how long someone is. It's how tall they are.
All right.
And
Well,
latitude, rhyme it with fatitude, and then that's how fat they are.
let's give you that. We'll give you that one. You can see, you can have that your version was better, but why did that kind of make it ridiculous what Rich was saying, the fact that he gets them mixed up, which I always do as well, but why is that a reason
because you must understand that the longitude lines that go up and down, as they do get closer to the pole, they get closer and closer together.
Yeah, that was his point.
Yeah, but he kept mixing up the words, and then Dearth came on, and he didn't know what the words were. He goes, "It's a longitude and a latitude." I don't know which one. I don't know which one it is, longitude or latitude, but it's one of the ones. And you got to know that sort of stuff if you're going to talk about it. And that's why the whole episode was just so kind of hilarious.
So based on that one point, that was enough for you to think that that was a silly show?
Well, then obviously at the end of it, when you started thinking that Jaren's experiment of getting a 3-mile bit of string and stretching it across the land or across the ocean was somehow going to do anything. I mean, Jaren has a history of putting together ridiculous experiments that prove nothing either way.
So what have you put together to try and prove anything?
Obviously, you haven't been to my channel. I've been in an airplane and I have observed.
Congratulations for getting your airplane.
Oh, sorry, Riley. I didn't understand that you didn't actually want to hear my point.
I just wonder what you've benefited. How have you benefited the community as a whole? What have you done?
That's what I was saying, but you interrupted me to go, wow. So
right.
Where do we go from here?
Going in a plane, did it? Go on then. Tell us about your journey in your plane. Where did you go to?
All right. So now you want to hear it. Are you going to interrupt me?
Depends on how rubbish it is.
Oh, okay. All right. That sounds like a really solid way to approach a conversation.
Oh, you mean the way you were about getting longitude and latitude mixed up as the whole reason to discredit the whole conversation? Yeah, it sounds about comparable, doesn't it?
Do you understand? It's like getting height and length mixed up.
Because the two words that are very similar sounding, and it's easy to mix them up. Why is that a reason to discredit him?
How often do you confuse someone and go, "Oh yeah, that guy's only 2 foot tall"? No, wait, wide. He's only 2 foot wide.
Well, Josh, I can easily mistake you as Milo, but that wouldn't mean that the argument against you would be wrong, would it?
Riley, because you have
we're getting this
obvious discernment of being able to understand people's accents doesn't make any difference to anything.
And Rich getting longitude and latitude mixed up whilst he's discussing something doesn't mean anything either.
Anybody on the panel? Anybody on the panel who has never confused the left hand or the right hand? Turn left here and you actually turn right. Come on, is that your whole argument?
No, that was not my argument. All I simply said was it was hilarious to listen to someone talk about longitude and latitude and not actually quite know which one was which. That's hilarious to me.
Came on for
it's an ad hominem attack.
Yeah, he came on for critique. He wanted to run an idea by flat earthers to see how it went down, and he got for critique by flat earthers.
Yes, but his whole argument was that latitude lines get smaller and smaller, but he was talking about longitude lines. If the whole argument is invalid from the beginning because he can't remember which one was which, that kind of makes it funny. You got to admit that.
Right, but is it enough for you to discredit the whole argument on that basis?
Well, yes, because he got them mixed up.
Well, it's that narrow-mindedness that makes it an issue for why you're even here in the first place. He misspoke once or twice. Big deal. So what, Sam?
No, he didn't. He didn't misspeak once or twice. His entire argument was invalid because he got them mixed up.
No, it doesn't invalidate your argument because he mixes things up or misspeaks.
Hang on, but if he's trying to say that, oh my God, look, I've done all this research, guys, and I found out that longitude lines get closer and closer together as you get further towards the poles. No one argues with that. I agree with that. So what's the point bringing it up?
I thought it's the other way around. I thought it was latitude lines that run around the so-called planet. Oh, got a troll muting me. Lovely jubbly. Haven't you got it the wrong way around?
Sorry, there's a lot of people. I'm hearing a lot of bleeping in my head. I don't know. There are people coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out.
Yeah, you were muted, Nathan.
Sorry.
So, I'm not really sure where you're going. Do you want to go back to your plane story and tell us about your little journey?
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Oh, that's right. So anyway, I was in a plane and I looked out the window and it was a really clear sky. It was really clear. And I got my Dioptra app. And actually, kudos to you guys. I didn't know how to pronounce the name of that app until I heard it on this show. But I got that app and I pointed out the window and I got it level. And the actual horizon was about 3 degrees below my level. And that was interesting enough for me. And then, you know, so that the whole horizon doesn't rise to eye level thing, that just went away.
Sorry, what do you mean the actual horizon? By definition, the horizon is apparent. There is no actual
No,
horizon.
I'm just talking about what you see, Nathan. Hi, Nathan, by the way. When you look out, obviously, the window of a plane, it's pretty easy to see when it's very clear. And I was lucky, it was very clear. But there's obviously blue, 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 blue. And you go, oh, sky, 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 sky. And then you go ground. And that's what I'm calling the horizon, where the sky, where the blue and the ground, where they meet. And that's what I'm calling the horizon.
Well, it doesn't
Well,
matter
they
what you
appear
call
to
it.
meet.
It's just apparent. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, it might not mean anything to you, but to me, it was where the sky met the ground.
Right, well, it isn't. It's just a point of convergence.
How do you know that, Nathan?
Just look at what the horizon is. Go Google search it. You know, the horizon isn't a physical... It isn't a physical thing, or it wouldn't move with altitude, would it? It would stay where it is. It's just something that's apparent. To call it an apparent horizon is redundant.
Well, I'm not calling it apparent horizon.
I am.
Calling it
Are you deaf?
Horizon.
Oi, why is it wherever we have these conversations, I state something and you say, well, I'm not calling it that. Oh, really? Well, you're not God.
Because, Nathan, I don't agree with you. How hard is that for you to understand?
Oh, so you think the horizon is a physical thing?
No, the horizon is where
Right,
the
so it's not a
sky
physical
meets
thing,
the
dumbass.
ground.
It's not a physical thing. You can't measure to it. It's not a target. It's just something that's apparent. It changes position depending on your elevation. It means nothing.
No, it's where the sky
It's where you're measuring
meets
to with the
ground.
diopter app, and your diopter app measurement means nothing.
The sky doesn't meet the ground, was. They don't touch.
Right. It's just
physically
perspective, something you
impossible.
deny. That effect that causes that apparent horizon, which is actually redundant because it's an apparent effect, that's caused by perspective. Something you joined the show saying, I don't know why you guys are talking about perspective, now you're talking about a horizon. Are you really this stupid as to not realise that's caused by perspective, something you completely ignore and say isn't relevant? What kind of dumbass are you, Josh?
I'm just some guy.
Acknowledge
that
what I've
thinks
just
that
said
the
to you,
horizon
dumbass.
is
Acknowledge what
where
I've just
the
said to you,
sky
Josh.
meets the
Hello,
ground.
dumbass. Acknowledge what I've just said to you. The effect you're measuring with the diopter app is the effect of perspective, dumbass. Don't you get it?
What?
What do you mean, what?
Do you not?
What?
does anyone
No, I
not
don't get
agree
that it's
the
caused by
horizon is where the
perspective.
sky meets
Because
the
I'm a
ground?
retard. You're a
No.
retard, Josh. If you don't
No,
understand
Josh.
that it's caused by
Okay,
perspective,
so where do you guys think the horizon is?
it's
Nathan,
apparent. Are you dumb? You really are this stupid.
present my screen, Nathan. Let's show Joshua the issue. Josh, press my
What's up,
tab
guys?
in the Hangout.
Press your tab in the Hangout. Okay, sure.
Read out the definition at line 1 and emphasize the word highlighted in blue, please.
The line at which the surface and the sky appear to meet.
Yeah, so, retard. It's not a physical thing. You can't measure it to it with a diopter app. Your example that you think is some sort of contribution after slagging off Jaren is absolutely and utterly meaningless. Why would you present it? And I assert you've presented it because you are retarded.
It's literally
Don't
exactly what I
stutter.
just said.
Acknowledge what Anthony has just pointed out that I asked you to do. Google search it and
Exactly,
understand the definition.
It's exactly
Clearly
what I
you
just said.
don't.
It's where the sky meets the ground.
Yeah, but
That's
it's not where the
That's
sky meets
horizon.
the
It's
ground,
not
is it?
where the sky
appears.
meets the ground, you dumbass. That's the point. It's a
When
effect
you're
of
reaching into the fridge
perspective.
to get a beer, do you reach where you think the beer appears to be?
We're talking about the horizon, not a
different.
beer, you crazy idiot. Just because
how
you're
is
an
it different?
alcoholic and
You're
everything
getting
goes to
all-
beer,
you're getting into
right? We're talking
semantics.
about the horizon, something you think you can measure, even though it's an apparent position that is caused by perspective. You think you can measure that because you are an idiot.
All right, listen, we talked about this earlier, and I asked this question with regards to Ranty's videos. Just pull up one of Ranty's videos where we've got a boat that is on the apparent horizon, and there is distortion behind with evidence that that's not where the surface ends.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not.
So can
It is
you
gonna
guys
be-
tell me where the horizon is then?
Okay,
The
I'm going to try.
Horizon is apparent. How many times do we have to say it's not a physical thing? It doesn't have a geographical location, you retard.
Yeah, but you can see it, can't you?
We can see the apparent effect of the sky meeting the ground because of something you globeheads ignore. Perspective.
That's fine, Nathan, but
No, it's not fine. You ignore a very real fact of life and join the panel telling us that you don't understand why we're talking about perspective. It seems pointless. Then you tell us about a measurement that is caused by that very effect. You complete idiot.
Can you or can you not?
Don't ask me anything. Just acknowledge. I am an idiot. My name is Josh. Just say that.
Nathan,
Not Nathan, Josh. Hello, I'm Josh. I think that the effects of perspective can be measured with the diopter app because I am a retard and my name is Josh.
you've got it so wrong. You're Nathan, I'm Josh.
Yeah, you're Josh, you're a retard. I'm Nathan, I'm telling you you're a retard because you think you can measure something which is apparent, an effect of perspective which you deny because you're a globehead idiot.
Yeah,
you're just stuttering now, Josh. Yeah? You take my tongue lashing, you complete idiot. Yeah? You think you can measure the horizon because you're an idiot. And you deny perspective, the very thing that causes it, because you're an idiot.
Do you see a horizon, Nathan, when you look out to the sea?
Hey, Josh.
Why are you asking us if I see a horizon? Yeah, I've got eyes in my head. Yeah, I see a horizon. Do you acknowledge that things can be sat on that horizon and yet things behind it can be further on the ground but not perceivably at the horizon? Or do you think the horizon is a physical geometric thing that you can measure?
That's not what I'm talking about. I don't know.
I don't give a crap what you're talking about. You're an idiot. No one cares what you're talking about. You've taken us on this merry dance where you've used a phone app on a plane to point at something that's caused by perspective. You are an idiot.
Hey, Josh, quick, I got to intervene really quick. This is Jose right here. So,
Please do. Hi, Jose.
Hi, how you doing? So, do you think you are looking at a horizon? You grab a video of YouTube or the internet, anywhere. You think you're looking at a hard line on the horizon. Now, if there's a point of reference, then you're going to see probably people walking above the line you think the horizon is. You're going to see things appearing from underneath the horizon. You don't know where the horizon is. I mean, you think you're seeing a horizon line, but you don't know if that's the real horizon, the point of convergence or not, because there are atmospheric conditions that are going on in far distance. So you cannot say you know exactly where the horizon is.
Okay, that's cool. But in the first sentence that you said it's a point of reference. So you're making a judgment based upon those
nobody
people
said it
being
was a
above
point of
or below
reference.
horizon.
Nobody said it was a point of reference. Nobody said that.
Jose just said.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was. I misspoke. Yeah.
Oh, did you say that? My bad. Sorry, Josh.
That's all right, Nathan.
Yeah, point of reference or not. You think you're looking at a hard horizon line, and then you keep panning the camera to the side, and you see people walking above, like walking in the air, or a boat floating in the air, or something underneath just riding along. What is going on? Then we're not seeing the real horizon. We are looking at a parent horizon.
Okay, look, maybe I haven't been keeping up to your terminology then. What do you guys call the point where it seems that the sky meets the sea or the land? Like,
Yeah, that's the
what do you call that?
That's the horizon where it seems to.
Oh my God, we've just...
Oh my God, I'm going to stutter as Anthony makes the point so concisely that destroys my argument. Your horizon is the edge, the lip of a sphere Earth that you presuppose. Our horizon is an arbitrary point where perspective causes the land to seem like it meets the sky. However, in plenty of Ranty's demonstrations, there are things beyond that horizon that continue to rise up to a different horizon on a flat plane. Whereas in your world, that's the edge of... In your world, it's the edge of... In your world, it's the edge of the ball, isn't it, Josh?
No, what I'm saying is...
Sorry, no, it's not the edge of the ball. Sorry, you defying what actually defines your world. The horizon in your world, Josh, is the edge of the ball.
No.
What do you mean, no? Why are you defying my statement? It is the case. We are looking at the horizon, and that horizon is the thing that, according to your bullshit ball mass that ignores perspective, is the cause of the obstruction, is the leading edge of the bulge, is the sphere Earth, the edge of it. Why are you saying no?
Well, because you keep saying edge, and I'm not agreeing to that terminology.
Sorry,
he's calling it, it's the bulge, it's the curve, the point at which the ship is going to go over the horizon.
Yeah, apparently according to heliocentric idiots, that's the point that beyond, it's going downhill away from you. In other words, there's nothing left to go up towards any other horizon. In other words, Ranty's pictures that show that there is stuff beyond that point, still rising up, proves it's flat, because it's not the edge, I don't give a crap what words you like, of any sphere Earth we don't live on.
I am talking about the point, which it's taken so long, but I think we're kind of all agreeing, is where the sky appears to meet the ground.
Wow, well, where the sky appears to meet the ground is not a useful thing to measure, so your example is garbage.
How do you define measure in this sense, Nathan?
There's nothing to measure, okay? Is it a piece of wood that somebody's cut down that's always going to be that size?
10 foot!
Right, the horizon is a 10-foot piece of wood that's always 10 foot, is it, Josh?
No, it's a frog and a bus, Nathan.
Yeah, they're totally different things, aren't they? One is a physical thing with a tape measurement that you can run down it. The other is a forced point of perspective that changes with altitude and cannot be measured because it's just an arbitrary point.
Hang on, did you just agree that a 10-foot wall is a 10-foot wall?
A 10-foot piece of wood that has a tape measure running along it has a methodology for measuring it with that concept, feet and inches. It means nothing when you look at something in distance because you have varying angles to the target. So your arbitrary feet and inches measurement is absolutely meaningless when you have varying angles to a target at distance. Okay, Josh?
Why do you think that one single person has to be able to prove flat or globe? Why can't you take multiple measurements from different places?
Thousands of years of science, mate. Loads of money, loads of resources, loads of careers that have been built on it. Years of indoctrination in the education system, and fully grown adults that have been deceived from birth, who are too stupid or brainwashed to have realised that there is no sphere.
That was not even remotely an answer to my question. Why don't you guys ever team up and try and do multiple observations at the same time?
What, like sun tracking, that sort of thing? Yeah, we have done that, Josh. We're also doing experiments all the time with FE Core and various other people that do tests, not experiments. I should clarify that straight away before someone jumps down my neck.
Yeah,
no, but
Josh,
why couldn't, and I think I mentioned this earlier, why couldn't someone just be standing next to the 10-foot wall and someone a mile away give him a call and say, all right, I'm a mile away. How big's that 10-foot wall? And the guy there with a tape measure goes, oh, still 10 foot.
You're a complete retard. Yeah? You had this conversation with us before. If somebody's standing 30 miles away next to a 10-foot wall, the person that is viewing it has varying angles to the top and bottom of that wall.
Go on.
That's it. That's the end, Josh. Something that you ignore completely in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting curve calculations. You only use this concept of feet and inches because that means you can keep the actual sizes and ignore perspective.
My question is why don't you guys ever team up and try and do multiple observations at the same time?
And I answered,
Why do
sun
you...
tracking. We have done multiple observations at the same time, and you have completely ignored me. I also mentioned FE Core, who work in collaboration with each other frequently, and you ignored me and repeated the same crap garbage with the same question as you have asked many times because you're stupid, dense, deaf, or just slow.
Nathan, have a glass of water, man.
Well, you're saying that we haven't done multiple observations, but the one multiple observation that's required to prove anything to do with the nonsense that you guys believe, you need to have two observers looking south at the same time, seeing the same set of stars. And that observation doesn't exist, and we've been talking about it for months. So why are you criticizing us for not doing stuff that we have done, but yet fail to realize the flaw in your own evidence on the very point that you're making?
What are
it's
you
really,
guys...
actually, Riley, between like you and Ranty, I know you guys like to go to that Some Bees place and take photos of the land and stuff. Why don't one of you go to the other place, like go to Morgold Lighthouse and sort of like at the same time and like click back at each other, take photos.
If you give us the money to do it, we'll do it. It's about 129 quid for the ferry if you go in the car. So do you want to pay for it?
That sounds so cheap. Are you you're trying to disprove the shape of the earth and you're not willing to spend 129 quid?
If you pay me the money to go and do it, I'll go and do it.
Sorry, we have disproved it, Josh.
Oh
Josh, yeah, those pictures of Barrow in Furness at about 20 miles absolutely destroy your model.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one? If you're willing to indulge me for just a moment, have you guys ever considered... You've heard about the like spherical trigonometry, right? And you guys must have heard by now, you've been researching this for all sorts of years, that a triangle on a sphere is larger than 180 degrees.
So sorry, Josh, just before we get into spherical trigonometry, you've just asked us in the last couple of years if we've managed to go across on a ferry and spend some of our money. Well, the government-funded propaganda that is the heliocentric system has had 2,000 years to prove the radius value in that presupposition that you would need to use spherical trigonometry. So, do you have any scientific evidence for the R value used in your spherical trigonometry when referencing Earth? Do you have any scientific evidence for the R value used?
That 2,000 years of research and science has put men in space, has put orbiting satellites around our planet.
It's a yes or no answer, Josh. It's a yes or no answer. Remember that when you were coming at Nathan just a little bit ago? It's a yes or no answer.
So I'll ask the question again, Josh, just so you're absolutely clear what I'm asking for. Whether or not you listen is a different story. I know you're deaf and slow. So I am asking for your scientific evidence of the radius value used in your trig example.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, Nathan.
No, you're stuttering. Don't apologise. Just answer yes or no. Yes, I have scientific evidence of the radius value used in my example. Or no, I have no scientific evidence of the radius value used in my example. It is either a yes answer or a no answer.
Josh, my question to you, Josh, hold on. My question to you is, in bringing up spherical trigonometry, what sphere are you referring to?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. We're in a flat Earth debate and you think you're on a globe. So I'm pretty sure you're talking about a spherical Earth with a radius value that I'm asking for scientific evidence of. Josh.
So, do you want to...
Don't ask me a question. Yes or no?
Do you want to hear what I have to say?
I don't want a question.
No, I'm asking you...
Don't ask me. Answer me. Do you have scientific evidence for your bullshit bull religion? Yes or no?
Well, of course I do.
What is it?
Himawari 8.
Sorry, Himawari 8 is not a formulated scientific hypothesis backed up by systematic experimentation. What the bloody hell are you talking about? Clearly, not only are you slow, you also don't understand what scientific evidence is, do you? Tell me what scientific evidence is, you complete retard.
There is a satellite...
Don't tell me what the satellite is. I've asked for scientific evidence of the radius value. You've told me you've got it. Now give it me. Tell me what scientific evidence is.
What do you want?
Don't stutter. Tell me what scientific evidence is, you complete idiot.
Sorry, you must have misheard. You must have been ranting over my question. Do you want me to
I
give
don't
you
want any
scientific
question.
evidence,
I
or
want
do
an
you want me to
answer,
tell
you
what scientific
complete
evidence
idiot.
is?
Shut your mouth. Listen to my question, which has been asked you multiple times after you brought up spherical trig. If you talk over me while I ask you this question, you'll go, Josh. Yeah? You unbelievable twat. Right. You have asserted that we should be using spherical trig. Now, spherical trig, when referenced to Earth, has a radius value that is presupposed. I am asking for your scientific evidence of that value. Do you have any? Yes or no?
Yes.
What is it?
What is what?
Your scientific evidence for the value of R used in your begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective omitting Earth model.
Oh, right. Well, my personal evidence is the fact that the horizon...
Not personal evidence. Didn't you listen to Anthony, you complete deaf idiot? You have had 2,000 years of scientific assertion. I don't want your personal evidence. I want to know what the 2,000 years of globe assertion has provided you with that you can put in front of us now to prove with scientific evidence the radius value, not your personal anything.
Okay, sorry, that was my fault. I thought you weren't going to accept second-hand information. I thought you wanted first-hand information.
Sorry, clearly you don't understand what scientific evidence is. Tell me, Josh. I'll keep the show running a little bit longer while we humiliate you. Tell me what qualifies as scientific evidence. It's not the Himawari, just a tip.
Josh, quick, say soundly.
Yeah, say soundly.
Why would I say soundly?
Say what your scientific evidence understanding is.
Soundly.
Hang on.
Don't stutter! Tell me what your scientific evidence is, you complete retard.
A photo from...
A photo? You are quite literally the stupidest man I have ever encountered, Josh. A photo is not a scientific hypothesis. A photo is not systematic experimentation. You are a retard. Do you understand me, Josh? You are quite literally stupid.
Nathan, let me have a minute with Josh a sec. Photo, Josh. Are you sure photo is the right word?
Hang on. Before you start this, Riley, you guys know that you have spent like months talking about photos.
I understand that I have asked you a specific question about scientific evidence, you complete retard. You want me to ask the question again? Or are you just going to go silent every time it gets asked and then stutter?
I thought I was talking to Riley.
You're talking to me. What's your scientific evidence for the radius? You said you had some. Then I asked you what it was and you said a photograph, indicating to me that you are mentally retarded.
Josh, your point about the photographs that we're discussing is we're not calling them scientific evidence, okay? You're making a...
Well, it's worse than that.
A false equivalency. We're not making that claim.
It's worse than that. He claims photograph, but I want to know is photograph what the word he really means to use is.
I think Riley thinks a photograph is a thing that's taken on a film and then processed by a guy in a dark room wearing a white coat with chemicals.
No.
No.
I think you think that Himawari takes digital photographs, but you haven't looked into it hard enough because it doesn't take photographs.
What does it take?
It's a composite, is it not? Does it not put 3 layers of colour together to create one composite that you call photograph incorrectly?
Riley, have you ever seen a rainbow?
I don't care, right? This little segue ends here. Whether or not it's a photograph or composite is absolutely not qualified to be scientific evidence, Josh. Now, that ends. Now you tell me what scientific evidence actually is.
Scientific evidence is. I don't even know what you want. Why don't you?
You don't know. You don't know what I want because you don't know what it is. Yeah?
He's admitted he
Go
doesn't
on,
know.
go
Mate.
on.
Put him
Go
out
on,
of his misery.
just shout, Nathan.
Put him out of his misery. He's admitted he doesn't know.
Right.
Come on.
Okay, you dumbass. Yeah? Don't tell us you understand what's going on here. You don't even understand what the words scientific and evidence put together mean.
Yeah.
Because you're thick. You understand me, Josh? You're going to take my tongue lashing for the next couple of minutes. You absolute idiot.
Go on.
You're stupid.
Can I ask a question? Why is it
me?
Why is Josh so stupid? Josh. I don't know. Why are you so stupid, Josh?
I am smarter than all.
You don't know what scientific evidence is. You're stupid.
Josh, do you have conversations like this with?
Wait a minute. Josh is P. Mars because that's what P. Mars said.
Pretty much.
What is it with you guys that you think everyone is everyone else?
I'm smarter than all of you.
I'll just round this out because we're going to have a little break. I'm sick of Josh and his absolutely stupid remarks and his total idiocy. So with that, I'll say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!